The U.S. Citizenship Test and What to Expect. This is part of an informational video series. This informational video was created and produced by CHS Training and Education Program. This video is intended for informational and learning purposes only and shall not be construed as legal advice. CHS is not liable for any misuse of information contained herein. Naturalization is the process of voluntarily becoming a United States citizen. In the U.S., there are two parts you must complete: an English test and a U.S. civics test. For the English portion of the test, you must be able to demonstrate an ability to speak or sign, read, write, and understand English words in ordinary usage. For the speaking interview of the test, you must demonstrate your ability to respond to questions. The officer will ask you questions about your eligibility and the citizenship application. The officer will repeat and rephrase questions until they are satisfied that you either understand or do not understand the questions. To pass, you must be able to use English to effectively communicate with the officer. If you show that you generally understand and respond appropriately, you will pass the speaking test. If you do not, then you will fail. Whether you pass or fail the speaking test interview, you still have to complete the other parts of the test. For the reading test, you must demonstrate that you are able to read 1 out of 3 sentences. Once you read one of the 3 sentences correctly, the officer stops the reading test. To pass, you must be able to read one of the 3 sentences comfortably without long pauses or serious errors that cause misunderstanding. If unsuccessful, you will fail. And you can fail by skipping a word or replacing it with a different word, long pauses while reading the sentence, or making serious errors that cause misunderstandings. For the written portion of the test, you must demonstrate that you are able to write using English. You must write 1 out of 3 sentences in a way that the officer understands. You must not abbreviate any words. Once you write one of the 3 sentences correctly and the officer understands, the officer stops the writing test. To pass, you must write well enough for the officer to understand the meaning of the sentence. Small errors with grammar, spelling, capitalization, or missing words are okay as long as the officer still understands the meaning of the sentence. You can fail by making serious errors that cause misunderstandings, such as a different sentence of words, an abbreviation, nothing or only 1 or 2 isolated words, a sentence that is completely illegible. You will fail. The civics test, also known as a government test. For the civics portion of the test, you must be able to demonstrate a basic understanding of U.S. history and government by answering questions. To pass, you must answer 6 out of 10 questions correctly. The officer will ask you random questions. When you answer 6 questions correctly, the officer will stop the test. If you answer 5 questions incorrectly, you will fail. You may ask for a sign language interpreter as an accommodation for the interview and test. The officer must provide a sign language interpreter for a deaf person when requested. To request a sign language interpreter, applicants should call the USCIS Contact Center or fill out a form online. You can also request an interpreter with the office at any time during the naturalization process. The officer should use any communication aids for the deaf or hard of hearing where available, such as allowing the applicant to read lips or to answer the officer's questions in writing as needed. It is your preference. CHS can help. CHS has advocates here to help you guide you through the naturalization process and help you prepare for the test and interview. Email, video phone, or text us at any time. Our information is on the screen.